fire right up. There we go. So what we'll do is we're gonna wait about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Then we'll start rocking and rolling. Dudes, you want bobbers?
Sure, I'll take a bobber.
Okay. Come up and everybody get a package of bobbers, whichever ones you want.
I'll take big ones. I'm a real big fan of.
These are the biggest ones we got. I might hand these
Hey,
out
Dad,
individually.
Can I get like a big one?
Check those out. Pass those around.
This is the basket.
I don't know what we'd use those for.
Fresh water.
Are we gonna do that?
This is the crop.
What's that? We might be able to get more. Yeah, let me see those, buddy. I'll open those up and I'll give each of you guys one of these. These are just cool to have.
I'm really surprised.
Now, do you guys know how to put bobbers on?
Yeah, you just hook them up to
Sam.
that right there.
Andrew, you know how to put a bobber on, right?
Yeah.
You hook them up like to that hook.
So what knot do you use?
Not do I use power bait. Never.
No, what knot do you tie?
Oh, Palmer.
Palmer knot. Okay. So you have been fishing with the Patriot Anglers.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to get started here in just a couple seconds. We've got a row full of dudes in front of us. If you're watching this on Born to Fish Media, come on down. We got sunglasses to give away to the little guys and girls. We got a number of things. I can't guarantee that all this stuff's going to be here when you get here. We got young Andrew with us who fishes with the Patriot Anglers quite a bit.
Yes.
And like I said, in about a minute we're going to get started, and then we'll get to the goods and we'll start asking you some questions.
Okay.
So
What are these? Oh, these.
just like practice plugs. So this is the knot I tie most of the time. It's just
So, I have a question.
That's the reason I do it.
I have
Shoot,
a
buddy.
question. So, are all of us gonna go up there and get questions asked?
If you want to, you bet.
Ooh, hey, I want to get questions asked.
Not a problem, dude. Right like that. The reason I tie that one is I've been using it so long I can tie it at night. Like I can.
Just keep doing it over and over
Well,
again.
so the hardest part is that right there,
Yeah.
and then you can just
Tie it, like go around 6 times and then go through the loop and then
Run
go through.
through.
Yeah.
just go. Oop! And I popped it out because I got too cocky there. On live too. Okay. So let's get going. Here we go. So I'm gonna hit record. Oop. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the LFK podcast. I'm your host, Eric Ali. I'm here with Andrew. Andrew, what's your last name?
Trathen.
Andrew Trathen. He fishes quite a bit with the Patriot Anglers, so we're going to talk about young Andrew. Lewis has been talking about you for a while. He says you're like young phenom. You know almost everything there is to know about fishing, and you're right up there with some of the older dudes. That's how much you know about fishing.
Yeah.
So how'd you get started with fishing?
My mom took me out a lot, and I kind of took off from there. Once she taught me how to tie and cast, I started watching videos, and I quickly picked up how to catch fish, and I just kept learning from there.
Awesome. So how old were you when you started?
I'd say about 8.
8 years old. And how many species of fish have you caught?
I'd say around 40, because I've caught nearly all the trout species, most of the bass species, all the sunfish species, catfish.
Oh, too cool. Too cool.
Yeah.
And so do you do the majority of your fishing in Colorado, or do you go all over?
I do majority in Colorado. I do fishing out of state. I do in Oregon, Wyoming, Michigan, places like that.
Oh, cool. So what was the hardest thing to take you from when you first started fishing? And you know, whenever we all start fishing, it's a little difficult to tie knots and stuff like that. When were you confident to go out on your own and you didn't need any help? How old were you when you got to that point to where you could rock and roll on your own?
Probably about 12.
12?
Or no, probably about 11.
11?
Yeah.
So what tips would you give some of the young guys out here about something that they could learn to where they could start rocking and rolling by themselves? Would you say knots first?
Yeah, I would say knots first, and then once you learn how to tie your knot, I would start watching videos and learn how to throw certain baits and the actions of the bait, because you need to know the action, so that way you're able to kind of match the hatch too.
Oh, so let's explain to them. So a lot of people won't know when you say match the hatch. Let's get a little deeper into that. When you mean match the hatch, exactly what do you mean?
So at a certain time of the year, maybe there's a lot of crawdads in your lake, and you don't want to be throwing a bluegill pattern, because bluegill pattern, there might not be a lot of bluegills in that lake. So you throw the crawdads in that lake because that's what the fish are feeding on.
So let's talk a little bit about craw patterns. Have any of you guys used any crawdad patterns? So have you ever used a tube jig?
Not that I know of. No.
You used a tube jig? So a tube jig is a great lure that mimics a crawdad. What else would you say, like Rebel crankbaits?
Rebel crankbaits.
What else would you say mimics a crawdad pretty good?
Soft plastics do a really good job, because they're able, some soft plastics inside of the pinchers of the craw, they have little pockets, and that allows the the soft plastic do is it raises the claws into a defensive position, because that's what a crawdad would do in the bass, just get more aggressive, especially smallmouth.
That's too cool. So how would you rig it? We're matching the
rig.
hatch, so you're Texas rigging.
I'm Texas rigging.
So explain to the little dude. So a Texas rig, you
Texas
have a bullet weight.
A bullet weight, which goes on a line, and then you tie on your Texas rigging hook, which is basically like a 3/0 hook. And you put the back of the crawdad.
Let's see if I've got some here.
All right.
Let's show these little dudes with an offset worm hook. And I do. So I didn't know what kind of fisherman you were, dude. I brought you some stuff here. There you go. There's a worm hook, and that actually has a plastic keeper. And before we go a little bit further, guys, I want to remind everybody that 2020 iVenue supports the LFK podcast. And really cool, they've donated a bunch of polarized sunglasses. So all the little dudes in the row right here, they've all got sunglasses on. They're polarized, so we want to thank 2020 iVenue. If you need prescription glasses, sunglasses, you name it, head on over to 2020 and check them out. So here, let me pop those out. That can kind of be a pain. And we don't have a bullet weight. But guys, when we're talking about an offset worm hook, so what kind of hooks do you guys usually use? Bait hooks?
I usually use like,
Let's see, do we have any,
I don't know, I usually use like trout bait, something like that.
Like power bait?
Yeah, power bait.
Sweet. So when he says, that's all right, buddy. So when he says an offset worm hook, you got to be careful with these ones. This is what he's talking about. This is an extra wide gap offset worm hook, and this is a trocar hook, so that means it's the sharpest hook on the market.
Yep.
So you got your bullet weight, then you rig your plastics like that, and I like what you said about them having little air bubbles in the craws.
Yeah.
Because that makes a huge difference. Whenever you're using a craw pattern plastic, it's important that the pincher's flat,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So what's your favorite plastic that you use?
Like brand wise?
Yeah.
Or, okay, brand wise, I definitely like Yamamoto's brand wise, Gary Yamamoto, because the plastic is just so much softer. And typically Yamamoto's plastics have typically a different action than most of your soft plastics. Like the Senkos for Yamamoto, they have a wobbling action, and most Senkos just fall straight. So
Yeah.
that's really an advantage that you can have.
Now, Gary Yamamoto, when he came up with the idea for the Senko, do you know what he modeled it after?
Just a regular worm or
Just a pin.
pin?
So who would have thought that, modeling a plastic worm after a pin would have that
Yeah.
that side to side and that wobble? So you're a multi-species guy.
Yeah.
You're a
Love
trout guy,
multi-species.
a bass guy. If you had to pick one species, what would it be?
Brown trout.
Brown trout?
definitely. Yep.
And what do you like about brown trout?
They fight harder, and they're such a pretty fish, and there are so many different so brown trout are native to North America. They were brought over by the Europeans, and so there are different strands of hatchery brown trout, and I like the German brown trout because they typically have a blue spot on their cheek, and they typically have red dots all over them, occasionally purple spots.
Now, do you like their aggressive nature? Because if you're a bass guy, that's something that's kind of cool because they act almost more like bass than they do like trout. Is that something that you like about it? That you can
Yes.
you can cover fish for browns.
Yeah, you can use a lot of different baits that you wouldn't be able to use for things like brook trout and cutthroat trout because they're so much more aggressive and they have what seems like a bigger mouth than most trout.
So we got a guy on here. His name's Jeremy Inouye. And grab your favorite brown trout lure right there. Grab yours and grab mine.
All right.
So when we started talking, Andrew said that bar none, his favorite bait to chase brown trout is the HD trout.
And J-Spec too. J-Spec too.
So what do you like about the dynamic lures? Do you like that they're local, or do you just flat out like the way that those lures swim?
Well, okay, so both are good because meaning that they're local, they test their lures out here in Colorado because they're trout lures, and so they use them. They test them here in Colorado. And Colorado has some pretty good trout, so it's easier to catch fish here in Colorado with the dynamic lures because they test them here. And then I also like them because they have a really good. You can use these like a crankbait or a jerkbait. They have a really good swimming action, and they're really erratic when you give them a good twitch.
So what kind of line do you like to throw with those?
I like to throw 6-pound to 8-pound monofilament line, tri-lead.
So you're a mono guy. That's cool. That's really cool.
I might occasionally throw fluorocarbon,
Okay.
or copolymer. So.
In the way that I was explaining to Andrew, that this is a Rogue. This is bar none my favorite brown trout bait, favorite trout bait. The difference that I see between the two of them, the dynamics are proven. There's no doubt about it. There's a reason why so many guys in Colorado use the HD line. But one of the things, even the young guys to consider, if somebody was going to give you a Big Mac or one chicken nugget, what would you eat? Would you want the Big Mac?
Yes.
I would want the Big Mac, and that's the difference. So this represents a bigger meal. So what a brown trout's going to do is he's going to move further to take this bait in.
Right.
You know, does it make sense?
Yeah.
So the J-Spec, what's something that, so if you're a dynamic guy, what about the Travados? Have you tried the Travados?
I haven't tried the Travados yet.
So maybe that's something to think about. Try the Travados in the future.
Yeah.
To the younger anglers in the audience, we talked about learning knots. What about just having fun? What would you recommend for them to just have fun? Because sometimes people take fishing too serious, and when you're a young angler, it's not about taking it serious. It's just about having fun, right?
Yeah, if you're a young angler, I would go after bluegills. They fight hard if you have a light power rod, and then also stock rainbow trout. You can go power bait or salmon eggs, and you'll catch them pretty good.
Awesome. Well, do you guys have any questions? So, Sam, your favorite fish is bass, right? What's the biggest bass you've ever caught?
I just started, so like 2.5.
2.5 pounds?
Yeah,
That's a big bass. That's a really big bass.
It's a
Cameron,
small.
you're a trout guy. What's the biggest trout you've ever caught? 2 pounds? That's a nice fish. That guy over there, he doesn't count. Buddy, what's your name? Jacob, what's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
The biggest fish I've ever caught was a rainbow trout.
How big was it?
Not sure, but I think it was about like this long.
That's a nice one.
Something
And
like that.
and these two behind us are pros. So I don't know what the biggest is. But what's the biggest fish you've caught? How big was it? Oh wow! And the arsenal fish? Awesome. What about you, Michael? What's the biggest one you've caught? See, these guys over here, they go fishing all the time. I've known James for a long time, talking 10 years. Has it been that long? Too cool. So back to the HD trout and your favorite fish to catch. What's the best trip that you've ever taken?
Well, it depends on size. The best trip that I had for size, I took a trip down south in Colorado. I caught a 9-pound, 27-inch rainbow trout on a fly rod in a belly boat and dragged it across the lake. That was pretty fun.
Awesome.
And then the other one was numbers-wise. I went up to Granby and I fished there, and I got a whole bunch of different species, from browns, cut bows, rainbows, lake trout. I got them all. It was pretty fun.
Nice, dude. Nice. And guys, if you have any questions, just shoot them out. Okay. Don't even think about it. You don't need to raise your hand. Just shoot them out. Andrew, it's been awesome. I'm going to get you here on again in a second. We're going to get Preston to come on. PJ. And we're going to talk tournament fishing. So we'll get you back on here in just a second.
Okay.
Now we're going to get this young man on. We're going to talk tournament fishing. Great job, man. Not much. How's it going? So, guys, now on the LFK podcast, we've got Preston John, young PJ. He's a tournament bass fisherman. When did you start fishing?
Probably about 5th grade, when I figured out that my neighborhood pond had bass in it. Went out with just a little button pole.
So did it immediately click that like it's on? I want to fish for the rest of my life. Was it that quick?
Yeah, that was pretty quick. It lasted just one night. I was just stayed out as late as I could. It's just been awesome.
And I fished with Preston quite a bit. He's an accomplished bass angler, but you do chase a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, it's fun going out for different species. Like, even if you're just taking a break from bass and just going up to the germ stream and going, even throwing jerk baits still, throwing reaction baits for trout and stuff.
So let's talk about tournament fishing. You know, a lot of guys, they fish for fun, but there's some guys that they do want to compete. And anymore, like when we were going to school, if you wanted to go to college, you had to get really good grades. Sorry, Mom and Dad, didn't do that. You had to be good at sports. I did that, but I didn't do the grades to be able to do the sports. But now, if you get the grades, you can fish competitively and you can get a scholarship that way.
Yeah, you can go to college with fishing. You just have to stay to it.
And so Ryan Wood, right now, a local angler that he's fishing at the collegiate level, and it looks like he's set his sights on being a professional angler. Is that something that you think about right now at your age? Do you want to be a professional bass fisherman?
Yeah, that would be something I'd definitely love to do.
So let's talk about how you got started in tournament angling, and especially let's talk about the folks that help you get started.
So it all started out back with like family stuff, you know, and we go out camping and stuff, and I didn't take fishing like too seriously, you know, go bait in the hook and some power bait and try and catch some trout. But then once I started living in the neighborhood and stuff and started looking into it more. And me and my dad would go to the lake and stuff. And, you know, we'd have a bobber and a worm, and then it just kept on going up from there. And went to Bass Pro. First thing I caught a bass on artificially was a Zoom Super Fluke.
Nice. And you still remember that? How long ago was that?
I was probably like 10.
10 years old, and you remember the bait. So let's talk about who got you started with the tournaments, and how has that changed your fishing? Because I know that I learned from everybody.
Yeah, so I started fishing in the junior club like 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, and I knew about the tournaments and stuff, but once I was able to be of age and stuff, I think it was like 8th grade, that's when we were able to do our high school tournaments and stuff. And then my partner, Gage, that's who, he helped me because he already fished tournaments before that, and he kind of got me into it, and we both did it together.
So let's talk to all these guys out here in the audience. I know Isabel, she already does competitive angling, right? She's already doing tournaments. So let's talk to all these guys. Why would you recommend for these guys to fish tournaments? Is it a good mixture of, especially at their age? At their age, it's just fun. When does it start getting competitive?
It starts getting competitive. You know, you want to win, you want to make a name for yourself, you know, start catching fish.
So when you started, you were already competitive. It wasn't just for fun. Okay. But let's talk a little bit about your athletic background. He's a basketball player. When you're a basketball player, a hockey player, anything, second place just doesn't taste the same. You know, but for some guys, it's getting into the junior clubs and getting into a bass club or a walleye club, anything, you're going to learn a ton. You know, you're going to be around anglers that have been doing it their whole lives, and then let's say you go fish a tournament. Most tournaments, especially for youth anglers, you share what you caught the fish on. It's not a hush-hush, you know, FLW BASS thing to where I'll tell you what I caught them on after I cash a check. It's not like that. It's open-ended with everything. So I don't want to say it's intimidating, because it's not, especially in the junior club. So if you've got, let's say that somebody on the live feed or one of you guys out in the audience, if you got a young angler that's interested in fishing tournaments or interested in joining a club, don't think it's 100% just competitive. The tournament, the club stuff, it's more about fun than anything else at this age, right? See, and that's something that I wish I would have known about when I was a younger angler. Because when I was a kid, believe it or not, I was so into fishing that I thought I was weird. We didn't have forums, we didn't have anything, so when I would talk to somebody about fishing, so look, basically it would go like this. My mom or dad would find one of their friends that liked fishing. I would talk to them for about 2 seconds. They would pick out their favorite color of bait, and then as soon as I started talking about anything further than that, they just tuned out. Now it's not like that. Now you guys can be around people that love fishing just as much as you do. So I think it's great. If there's anybody that's interested in joining a club out there, what club are you a part of right now?
Front Range Bass Club is the club that I'm a part of. And then I'll do the junior stuff with the Denver Bassmasters.
So who are some of your mentors fishing-wise? Who are some of the guys that, you know, you got Curtis Welch, you've got George. Who else in the tournament and in the club scene has helped you?
You, George Maries, Gene Miller's been a great guy to talk to about fishing. Ryan Wood, just because he's older.
Awesome.
You know, all the other kids that are, you know, done the tournament stuff and now graduating high school.
Too cool. Well, guys, like I said, you can get into tournaments and stuff like that if that's something you want to do. If all you guys want to come up and grab some stuff, before we start talking any further, we got bobbers, we got kits. Sam and Cameron, you want to grab one of those rods? You guys can have those. Michael and Isabel, do you guys want one of these kits? Come grab something. Hey, dude, come grab some stuff. We got all this stuff. And here, Isabella, over here. I got bass hooks too. So a lot of this stuff's kind of kiddie stuff, but I got bass hooks as well. This one I can't give out. This one's Cabela's. And guys on the live feed, if you have any questions, I'll answer them here in just a minute. Let's see what hooks we got. PJ, there's some swim bait hooks. So you mostly use plastic, right? Do you have a drop shot? Okay. If you guys want, do you ever drop shot, James? I'll take those. And hold on. Now, do you Texas rig? Okay. So these are great hooks, but one thing about them is if you see it on the elbow right there, they got a little piece of plastic on them. So you want to use a bait with a little bigger body because that'll kind of tear up the plastic. But these are super, super sharp hooks. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Did you get a rod? Right. Okay. So take one for you too. Those are crazy sharp, so be careful with those, okay?
If you want to change
My
the
man,
color for your
you want a
boats,
rod? You can get that one, or you can get one of these ones over here. It's totally up to you. And guys, I want to thank the folks at Eagle Claw for donating a bunch of stuff, and especially everybody at 2020 iVenue. There's some hooks too. Give those to Dad. Those are Trocar. Those are the. I wouldn't let them hold those ones. They're the sharpest hooks on the market. Yeah, they're crazy sharp. And we got the little nets, guys. You can take a couple of little nets. And let's see. This is great. Wish I could have made it. Yeah, no worries, Zach. And like I said, with this podcast, guys, it's going to be super short because I just want the dudes to have fun and the ladies to have fun. Do you guys have any questions about fishing? So, Cameron, when you catch trout, what do you usually catch them on? Do you use bait?
Yeah, power bait.
What's your favorite?
Probably garlic.
Garlic? That's your favorite?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite part about catching fish? You like the fight?
Sort of, yeah.
Just a little bit? You just like being outside?
Yeah, usually.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. So, Sam, how many times have you been fishing, bud?
Like out in the lake, probably like about 30.
Eric, come grab a pair of glasses. Yep. I don't know if they'll fit you. Eric, grab her a rod and go give her a rod. Let's see, we got questions. Fountain Valley Junior Bass. Here we go. Sam Heckman. You know Sam. James, you guys know Sam Heckman. Guys on the live feed talking about Fountain Valley Junior Bass Club. Just a great thing. Have you guys thought about competing at all, Cameron?
I'd like to go about more on those fishing tournaments.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys, like Sam Heckman, he's this close to blowing up on the national scene. He's fishing a ton of tournaments. I'm going to do a podcast with just myself, Matt, and Sam, and he donates a ton of time to youth anglers. But he's down south. He's, in my opinion, the best bass angler in Colorado. Him and Matt Massey are right there. I guess you could say Larry Triplett too. But talking about the junior anglers, where would you say around here? Where can Chuck and Cameron go? Who would they get a hold of? Would it be Curtis Walsh?
Yeah, Kurt would be the person to call. G and Roar too.
And what I'll do is I'll put all this information on the LFK podcast about the show notes. But dude, just shoot me a message on Facebook and I'll put you in the right direction with that. Young man, what's your name again?
Jacob.
Jacob? You want to come talk for a minute?
Sure.
Come on in. PJ, stay close, buddy. All right, you got to swing around, dude. We got questions. What's your favorite drop shot bait? Jeff, I'll answer that in just a minute. We got young Jacob with us. Jacob, you said that trout are your favorite fish to catch?
Yes, they are my favorite fish.
What's your favorite part about fishing?
My favorite part about fishing is that you can like catch tons and tons of fish.
Nice, dude.
And my favorite thing is like catching a lot of fish.
A lot of fish? So what's the hardest fighting fish you ever caught? Was that a trout too? Have you ever caught bass?
No, I've caught like a big rainbow fish.
Nice, dude.
It was like really tough to follow. Because it like literally ripped off my string.
Where do you fish most? You fish up in the mountains most?
No, I fish up in a lake.
Sweet. In Wyoming?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. All right, well, I appreciate you checking that out. We'll get anybody else. You come up here now. Thanks, buddy. Knuckles right here. Just pound it. Thanks, Jacob.
Wait, I have one question.
Have at it, dude.
Are these for free?
No, those aren't for free. And I have to make sure I put those back because these are Cabela scissors. Cabela's, I'm putting them back. Don't worry, I'm just using them. And after we get done with the podcast, if you guys want me to show you knots or anything else, I'll show you knots. I'll show you rigs. I'll show you anything else. But we'll do that after the podcast is over. All right, say hi to your mom and anybody else, Jacob.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Uncle Ron. Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Grandma. Hi, other Grandma. Hi, the Grandma. Hi, Grandpa.
He's got a lot of highs
Hi,
in him.
Grandpa.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye, Grandpa and Grandma and Mom and all that. Bye-bye.
All right. Now this dude, if anybody follows me on Facebook or that's been reading my stuff ever, everybody knows this guy. This is my son, Eric. Eric Jr. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but last year we went out with Alpine Fishing Adventures on Lake Dillon. And what Randy does out there is we caught Arctic char, we caught kokanee salmon, rainbow trout, and brown trout. kids under 12 are free. So if you have 2 paying adults, you can go out there with Randy, Alpine Fishing Adventures. Let's talk a little bit about it. You had a blast, didn't you?
Yeah.
So what kind of fish did we catch?
Not trout, salmon, Arctic carp.
Arctic char. Good job. And the cool thing about Randy is Eric wasn't feeling it. And it's one of those things to where, you know, everybody makes mistakes as a dad. I pushed fishing a little bit too hard. So you didn't like it for a while there. And on that day, he wasn't feeling it. Randy made sure Eric was still having fun. He turned Eric into the net man for a little bit. We ate some smoked salmon. What'd you think of the smoked salmon? You can tell the truth.
That was okay.
I thought it was great. But, you know, if you're thinking about taking a family trip, Alpine Fishing Adventures, you get out. He's got a pontoon boat. He's got a fishing boat. You'll have an absolute blast. We've been fishing together since you were little, right? What's your favorite fish that you've ever caught?
This is hard.
I know the fish that you want to catch most, but what's the favorite fish you've ever caught? What's it look like? We can get to it from there.
I would have to say
Arctic char? What about tiger muskie? I know you've always wanted to catch one of those.
Yeah, I like tiger muskies.
Awesome. You got anything to tell the little dudes? He's been fishing forever, but I don't think he got into it as much as Andrew has. But you're still only 10, right?
No, I don't know.
All right. Up top. 2 times. Thanks, buddy. But like I was saying, that Alpine Fishing Adventures, guys, if you want to take it, and the thing about Randy is he's a great angler. And if you're a trout fisherman, if you like catching pike, if you like catching lake trout, look up Alpine Fishing Adventures. And he doesn't guide on any lakes that have lake trout or that have pike, but he's just a cool guy that'll help you out. If you do take a trip with Randy, you know, make sure you mention my name, Eric Ali. He'll give you a deal. And like I said, kids under 12 are free, and it's just a blast. You know, we went out there I've been out with him twice. So the first time we went out, I took my son and my young nephew, who's, at the time, I think they were 8 and 7, and we just hammered fish. We caught rainbows, we caught browns, we caught Arctic char, which there's only 2 bodies of water in the lower 48 that have Arctic char. One of them's in Maine, and the other one's here. And just had a blast. And then here recently, we had a business meeting, myself and Randy. He had a client that canceled last minute. We went out and we hammered browns, and they weren't little. They weren't, I mean, Georgetown's got some decent browns in, you know, the 18, 19, 20-inch range. The browns that we were catching up there, my buddy Matt caught one that was 4.5, 5 pounds. So it's one of those things. And Randy's always available on Facebook. If you shoot him a message, he'll give you information if you want it. James, you come up here for a second? You cool with that? So James and Kara are the fishing family in Colorado. They know how to get those kids out there to have fun. And I actually wrote an article with James. When was that? 2 years ago?
2 years ago. Born to Fishing Media.
And me being the bozo that I am, so your email, before we even get started with that, your email address is spelled different than your last name, right? So Born to Fish Media magazine comes out. I'm all excited because I write about James and Kara taking the family fishing. I spelled his last name wrong. And it was already out by the time he got it. So public apology here. So let's talk.
It was right in the picture, so.
Well, let's talk about how you've got your kids fishing and to love it so much. You make it fun all the time, right?
Try to.
So what are the different techniques that you've used when they were younger and now that they're getting a little bit older?
Well, it wasn't always about fishing. We'd just like do casting or something, and if they did a good cast, you'd praise them. Seeing wildlife, just anything being outdoors. We'd let them swim or wade if they wanted to.
Awesome.
And always reward them for like new species or big fish. And
one of the things I remember in the article though is you guys, you had adventures. You would create stories as you were walking and stuff like that. Let's talk a little bit about that. Like how do you go about doing that? Because I think a lot of us, me particularly, I can't say a lot of us. I'll speak for myself. If I'm around big fish, I get big fish stupid. I can't help it. It's all I focus on. There's nothing I could do. You know, you can ask my son. I've done it millions of times. So when it comes to being creative with stories and stuff like that, when I'm fishing, I just can't do it. So what's a storyline that somebody could take off with pretty easily to have fun with their kids? Just any, like, I know you guys chase Sasquatches and all the rest of the stuff. Do you talk about stuff like that as you're hiking?
We've told them, like, you know, like maybe we're going to run into a bear on the path, and if we can show the bear a picture of a fish, and it would encourage them to try harder to catch a fish, or at least to be quiet so Kara and I could catch a fish.
See, how cool is that now? That makes it fun, you know? And you guys have you always had fun fishing?
Yeah. Yes.
Ever since you were little tiny babies? Awesome, awesome, awesome. And it started from the adventures that you guys would take. And now, is it about the fishing most of the time now? Because I see you guys catch fish all over.
You know, it's about going to new places and just seeing new waters and just new experiences.
Awesome. Well, and James, you're on Facebook. You're friends with most people. You're on the Colorado Fishing and Hunting group on Facebook. If anybody has questions, you okay with them shooting you a message about
For
how to
sure.
keep their family entertained with fishing? Because if you guys ask me the questions, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to ask James. So you can still send me the questions, or you can send them to him. Any other tips that you would give moms or dads out there taking their family fishing?
Lately, avoid the heat. Bring
Yeah.
like mist bottles, spray bottles, something for shade. It's just
Yeah.
we went to Nebraska just last weekend and it was so hot, but
See, I was studying those rocks, and I kept trying to figure out where you guys were. I'm glad to know it was Nebraska, because
Yeah.
I was picking my brain. I couldn't figure it out. Awesome, awesome. Okay, that's pretty much going to be the podcast. Does everybody want to come up and tell the camera your favorite fish species? Thanks, James. I appreciate it, man. Here, come on up, Sam. All right, buddy. So look right there and tell them your favorite fish species. Your favorite fish to catch.
Okay. Largemouth bass.
Let's get a little bit closer so your family can see you, buddy. Right, there you go.
My favorite fish to catch is a largemouth bass.
Awesome. Up top, 2 times. Nice, buddy. All right, Cameron, come on up, bud. Look right there. You're going to see yourself right there. So what's your favorite fish to catch?
Rainbow trout.
What's your favorite way? Do you like bait fishing so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Take a big bobber with you. 2 times up top. Actually, let's do 3 times. All right. Come on up, dude. What's up, Michael? What's your favorite fish to catch? We'll give you 2. You can pick 2 of your favorite
White bass
fish.
and smallmouth.
White bass and small. So why do you like smallmouth? Is it because they fight so hard?
Yeah.
Where's your favorite place to catch them? Big body water. We don't talk about little bodies of water. You like horse tooth?
Yeah.
Awesome. What's your favorite way to catch them?
My favorite way to catch them is plastics.
Plastics. What's your favorite plastic if you had to pick one? Just a curly tail, or you like tube jigs? What do you like? Worms? Crawdads? Crawdads? It's like tube jigs? I tell you what, after this is over, show me which ones. Hit me 4 times. Nice. Awesome, dude. Come on up. Now, this young lady is a tournament angler. And let's talk. Are you okay with talking about it for a minute?
Yeah.
What's been your favorite tournament so far?
Last year at the end of the year we get to go to a private pond. Now it's been like going there every tournament, but
Swift ponds? Is that what
Yeah.
it is? So let's talk about what'd you catch and what'd you catch them on?
I catch them on crankbaits and plastics. I caught one on a chatterbait.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So what's the highest that you finished? Do they do places right now? So what's the best that you finished?
First,
Okay, up top on that 1 time. So what's your favorite fish species to catch?
northern pike.
Northern pike by far?
It's kind of tied with bass.
So the pike you caught at the Arsenal, and everybody knows I didn't used to talk about the Arsenal, talking about it now. Is that one of your favorite places to fish?
It was really good, but it's been kind of a little low.
I got a couple things that I'll share with you guys off camera. It's still pretty good. I can't share it with everybody. Hit me 5 times up top. All right. Anybody else? Jacob, one more time, buddy. Tell us your favorite fish species. And we got some stuff on the live feed. Like I said, guys, I'll address the stuff on the live feed here in a little bit. All right, buddy. Favorite fish species?
My favorite fish species is big rainbow trout. Those are like the best species.
All right. Hit me up top. Hold on. Let's 7 times. That's 1. All right. Thanks, buddy. Andrew, one more time, my man. So, anglers your age,
Yeah.
give them 1 bass fishing tip, and that's how we're going to end the podcast.
Throw the Senko.
The Senko, what color? And you're a Yamamoto guy. You don't want them throwing Yum or anything like that. You like the Yamamoto, right?
Yeah, the Yamamoto has a much better action than all the rest of them. I would throw, it depends on the color of water. If you're throwing murky, like chocolate milk colored water, darker colors, but if you're throwing clean water, I'd go green pumpkin or watermelon flake, black flake.
And where would you throw the Senko? Oh, before we get with that, are you wacky rigging or are you weightless? How are you rigging? Okay.
Wacky rigging, and Yamamoto said himself that he designed the Senko to be thrown on a 3/0 hook.
So what brand of hooks do you use?
I go with either a Gamakatsu or a Shokar.
Okay, perfect, dude. And Andrew's going to be on the show again, guys. So look out for him. Do you have any interest in writing about fishing?
Sort of.
Yeah, if you
I'm
get
going
it-
to start making a journal so I can keep track of what the fish are biting on when.
Awesome. And if you do stuff on social media when you get a little bit older, or if you're doing it now, let me know. We'll share it on the podcast. Guys, I'm going to share all the different things with what we talked about today, and then also all the club stuff. You know, in Frank Vila, Curtis Welch, George Maurice, Sam Heckman. You guys think anybody's name I'm missing? Chad LaChance. I don't know if Chad does it a lot anymore. I know he used to. But there's so many guys that help the youth anglers in the state. I'm going to get all their names out there, and hopefully I can get with all of them and do the podcast on here in the next 2 weeks. Sam and myself are going to get together, and we're going to talk all things fishing with Sam. We're going to talk about him on the tournament trail. We're going to talk about a ton of stuff. Guys, we're going to do a kids podcast again in 2 months. We're going to give away more stuff. But right now, I'll leave the live feed on for about 15-20 minutes. But what I'm going to do the rest of the time is I'm just going to help people with questions that they have about fishing. So thanks for tuning in. And on iTunes and stuff like that, guys, the podcast is over. Matt Mascarenhas isn't here 2 weeks in a row. You've been warned, chump. But he's got a saying, the only angler that you have to be, the only angler you have to be better than is the one you were yesterday. So that's how we'll end that one. Okay, the podcast part is over, guys. Does everybody here know how to tie a knot?
Yes, I know.
Let's see what you got. Cameron, come on up,
So
dude.
you know how to tie now, right?
Cameron does not fishing that. They'll show you how to do it.
Okay. What kind of knots do you guys use? You use Palomar knots? That's all I use most of the time. Yeah. So I'm going to show you an easy one, okay? It'll take you a couple times to do it, and then I'll show you how to put bobbers on too. Guys, all this stuff is for you guys.
Yay!
Okay.
I want hooks.
Yeah, take hooks. Dude, take those ones. Those are weedless wacky. And Cameron, make sure you give those to your dad right away,
Blue,
buddy.
I want the drop shots. Okay.
All right, so here we go, guys.
Okay. What?
Preston, you want to help some kids with the knots too? Eric will get you some line. Okay, so what you do right here is you go through, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it around 5 times. Okay? So we're going around 5 times. 1, 2, 3,
How do you like?
4, 5. Okay? So you see how I made a little hole right here with my finger? Yep. But that's just the cinch knot right there. That's just the cinch. I don't do just the cinch. We go back through this hole right here, and that's an improved cinch. So most of the time what I'll do is I'll get my fingers wet, and you wet the line. Before you cinch up a knot, I always want to wet the line. You know why that is? Because when the friction actually burns the line. So what we do from there is we just pull it tight, and we clean up the tag. Okay?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not much of a fishing knot person.
Dude, it takes practice. And that's the thing, is you're not going to do it right away. You guys know how to tie a knot yet? Let's try it. Here.
Eventually, Daddy gets tired of tying knots.
My dad quit when I was 6, so I had to learn pretty quick. So let's try it. Here, Cameron.
Try that again, Cameron.
We'll do it one more time, and then I'll let one of you guys try it, okay? And if you don't get it on the first time, no big deal, okay? So here we go.
And I like the hooks. The hooks are the best.
You put it through right here. We're going to go around 5 times, okay? How many times we go around? 5 times, okay. How many times we go around? 6. There we go. I like that. So let's say 3, 4, 5, and then we created a little loop right here. So we're going to go through that loop, okay? And then with this finger, we create another one, and we go through again. So basically, it's 5 under and through. Can you guys say that? Let me hear you say it. 5 under and through.
500 and
Say it a little bit louder. Nobody cares if we're loud.
500 and through.
That's all you guys got, dude? That's as loud as you can be?
500 and
A
through.
little bit better, a little bit better.
500 and through.
We'll work on it.
Your own chest.
Okay. So let's try it again. PJ, come on over, dude. All right, Cameron. You ready to try it, my man? Let me see that line. Okay. Yeah, dude, have at it. Okay. A brown trout?
I got this for you.
I'll show you. I actually have one over here. You want to catch big ones or little ones? Okay. Andrew suggests this one right here. What's up, buddy? It's an HD trout. Yeah, you gotta buy that one.
Yeah, you
What's up, buddy?
Can I get another pair of glasses just in case?
Yeah, dude. How about it? And guys, on the live feed too, 2020 iVenue, I can't say it enough. Matt Neverman's my buddy. He owns it. He's a fisherman. So we went around 5 times. Ready? Okay. So we got it right like that. Go ahead and take the deal. So put one there. Perfect, dude. Now go around 5 times. See what you want to do is put your finger right like this. Here, let me see it. So relax your hand a little bit. And I'll show you how I put my. You know what? Let's see. Here, hand me that one. I'll tie one and you tie one. Does that work? That'll be easier that way, huh? What kind of knot do you tie? Just a fisherman's knot? Okay, so right like this here. Okay. So are you just like I am? Looking good, my man. Okay, let's go around 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm not doing nuts. My dad doesn't.
Well, that's okay. Here, let's see you tie one. Yeah, I'll let me help these guys with knots. I'll take you over there, and I got a couple other ones. Where are you guys going to be fishing at?
We're actually fishing.
Wyoming? I'll work in Wyoming. So those ones right there are just over there. Is Andrew still here? Eric, go get Andrew. He's right here.
I got my 5.
Okay. You got your 5? Okay, now go through the loop. What are you looking for? Okay. Dude, no. You're good right there. Okay, now let's cinch it up. So pull. Dude, nice job, man. Okay, ready? I'm going to help you just a hair. Ready? Pull it down. You just tied a knot. Okay, let's cinch it down. Look at that, boy. That's a knot. So let's do it one more time. Let's see if it goes. All right. Andrew, where'd the Jacob go? He wants to know about HD trout. You want to go help him?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. All right, you want to try it again? Here, let's step it off. And the thing is when you get home, you can practice. You know, you take this with you, and you can practice tying knots. All right, you want me to do it alongside you, or you want to try this one all by yourself? Okay. Okay, well, let's do it. That's what I'm here for, dude. And you know how to put a bobber on? Oh, that was my bad. That was my. Make sure you take some stickers, guys. We got Trocar stickers too.
Yeah, how did you know?
Now, okay, right? Let's see where you're at. So you want to get your finger just like this. Give yourself enough line.
There was one night at reunion.
Oh, that's what happened. See what it did is it got caught. It was like it was split. Oh, now you got it. Good deal.
It's a green one. It's kind of like I'm doing the knots. So you usually just take the knot back out and do this over.
Yeah.
You find that causes any issues.
It's just one of those things that
Twists it a little bit.
I've tied them the same way so many times that, you know, I'll use a polymer knot for when I'm using braid or stuff like that. But basically, this is all I do is I do the 5 times through and through. And the reason I do it like that is, okay, go through. But yeah, and I can tie it at night, you know, when I can't see anything. And the other thing is I got Shrek hands to where some of the knots I just flat out can't do. Let me see. That's okay. So let's just do it again. Just start all over. You got it. Let's see how strong it is. You're a pro by now, huh? Do you know a polymer knot?
5/6 spinning rod.
Let's see.
That'd be something.
Let me see some of those drop shot ones.
I got too far out. Wait, is this turned off?
No, you're fine, buddy. Eric, go get me. This might work. But that Margaret's Pond is good. I'll turn this off and just let's see. Okay, so we got one of the guys on the live feed, Jacob. He says chartreuse shad is one of my favorite colors to use in Wyoming. So let's see what colors you got.
So I got pink and yellow.
So put them up there, just right there. All right, Jeremy, this is the colors they got. We don't have chartreuse shad yet. You want to go see if you can find chartreuse? It's like a lime green.
Okay.
And that's what Jeremy just got back from Wyoming.
I'll go try to find
No, you
some.
got it, didn't I? You just got to
Okay.
cinch it.
I'll go try to
No,
find
give me more
some.
gun. Did he do some eyes again?
Yeah, he's a ham.
Okay, so this is a polymer knot. So what we'll do with this is this is how you're going to do your drop shots. Because with the cinch, dude, did you get it twice in a row? Twice. One more, dude. No, once, twice. There you go. All right, one more time and you're a pro. Let's cut it off. And that way, next time you go fishing, when you break off, you can tie your own on, right?
Where'd you find this?
These are over in the fly fishing department. But you know what I used when I was your age?
Fingernail.
Yep.
Daddy has in his bag.
You know what I still use quite a bit? That's right. All right, so this is a Palomar knot. This is what, because when you run a drop shot, you want the hook to be up like this, okay? And what I like to do is when it gets really hot like this, drop shots really work good. I don't know what I'm telling her for. She catches more fish than I do. But the drop shots do work well. So, and this is cool what Trocar's been doing with the hooks. Most of them come in little deals like that to where you can keep track of them. I like that. You guys still go to the Eagle Claw store quite a bit, don't you?
Once in a while. Whenever we can. Those are my days off.
Yeah. Well, next time you need something, let me know. I'll pick it up and we just meet somewhere. I owe you a fishing trip, so. Okay, so there's two ways you can do it. I like to double the line over, but what you can do is you can take the line through, and as you can see, my big hands are basically going to get in the way of the whole thing. You can take the line through and then bring it back through, if you want.
I have like that one where it's like
Okay. So the end result is going to look kind of like that. Okay. And I'm going to give myself more line to where my hands are so big. And this is where it's super easy. So basically all you do is you do an overhand knot. Okay. You put the loop through. So that's just an overhand knot, one time. And then you put this loop that you have, you go around the hook, and then you tighten it up. And this is one of the most proven knots. If I can get it to tighten right here. There we go. This is one of the most proven knots ever. This is an old school knot. A lot of guys before they used the fisherman's knot or the improved cinch. But you see how that stands up right like that? That's the key to your drop shot. And let's say you tie the Palomar knot, and let's say it's not facing up, because you always want it up. When you're running a drop shot, you always want it up. Let's say it's facing down. I almost just hit myself on Facebook Live. If it's facing the other way, sometimes what you can do is you can put the line through it, like so, and then you can flip it around. And then you can adjust it too. But you can get, there's all kinds of knot stuff, right, like so. There's all kinds of knot stuff you get on YouTube at all? So if you get on YouTube, look up the Palomar knot, because as much as you guys fish plastics a ton, right? I think you guys would hammer them with a drop shot, for sure. So what's the biggest fish that you've caught this year? Oh, that's crazy. I think I know where. I won't say because the live feed's still going, but I think I know where. And guys, let's see. We appreciate everybody on the live feed. We're going to go ahead and shut it down because I'm going to start talking about locations, and everybody knows I don't talk about that on live. Eric, if you hit the finish button for me.
See ya.
That's